Since for as long as I can remember, I have been told chicken rice is not popular in Hainan. It's not a thing there. They call it Wenchang and it's terrible. The chicken is dry and very bland. They need to use the condiments to improve the flavor. The chicken itself no taste one. Man, shut the hell. Welcome to Hainan. We are finally here and we are starting at白切世家 Master Boil. Immediately, this is shaping up to be possibly what we might be looking for, because this is the first restaurant in the series that have different grades of chicken. They have a 大爷头排鸡, which is their top grade. There is a Wenchang ji, which is considered their normal grade, and there is also a 白切ji, which I assume is the lowest grade. So allegedly, these chickens had access to coconut growing up. The mechanism is not as naive as, you eat coconut, then you taste like coconut. But coconut, as some of you might know, is very calorie dense. So the usual mechanics of grain versus grass fat, coconut is a tier above that. So you will expect this chicken to be very fatty. Anyway, I ordered their top grade. It also comes with a lot of interesting sauces. And while I'm very excited for the chicken, is this basmati rice? Not like this. What the? I put $10 right now. Y'all won't be able to guess what the rice tastes like. Y'all can think about it while I try the chicken. If you have been following the series so far, you know that Hainanese chicken came from Wenchang chicken. And Wenchang is not a cooking method. It is a place in Hainan. I have heard from y'all that their cooking methods in Wenchang are nothing special. But the dish made is named on one thing. The chicken is phenomenal. I don't want to say most delicious, but this is the most impressive chicken so far. I didn't introduce it properly just now. On one side, the white side, it is a yanji, which is a castrated chicken, something that we mentioned earlier in the series. When I say that, I didn't really think that I would actually order a yanji later down the series, but here we are. And this chicken is interestingly very tough. There's quite a bite to it. You all will have seen me struggle just now, but the flavor is so clean. It is all that chicken richness, and the chicken flavor is rather strong, stronger than almost any we have had so far, but zero stench. I know about this kind of chicken, but I didn't expect it to work so well. This process is very common with pork, but this might be the first time I have it with chicken. On the other side is Wenchang ji, and while this is breast, this is more tender than the drumstick. You can see that it's cooked very well, it's very juicy, and yet this actually has a little stench. I feel so thrown off that the dark meat is tougher, no smell at all, whereas the white meat is more tender but has a little stench. It's normally the opposite. Just now I said something about feeding on coconut. There is just an excess amount of not oil but chicken fat throughout the dish. The chicken seems to have deposits of fat that are in places that I never ever seen. I haven't seen the fat so far in the series. This makes the chicken obviously very flavorful and smoother. That pure chicken flavor is very impressive. In terms of the intensity of chicken flavor, this might be the highest so far. And you have these 4 sauces that, change up the flavor a little bit. I don't want to go too much into it. It's just like a mixed sauce. The soy sauce, the ginger, the lime, the garlic. Switches up the chicken flavor very nicely. And then, you all had enough time to think, right? What do you think the rice tastes like? The rice tastes like nasi ayam lemak biryani. There is the chicken fat flavor as the base, but there is a very strong hit of coconut. I immediately think of the nasi lemak series. But the rice, they changed it to basmati rice. How am I so far from home? But this is the most homely thing there is. This will instantly be recognized by anybody in Singapore, Malaysia. I think it's done well, well balanced. Like I said, you actually taste all 3 notes, but this might be a bit too harsh. But I feel having so many flavors in the rice, so many different flavors, it actually pulls away from the chicken. I don't feel like the rice and the chicken gels. I don't know whether it's just me not being used to it. You know what? Let me think about that, miss. That doesn't sound right. What I will say though is that I don't like basmati rice. Basmati rice has a lower GI. It has less of that satisfying carby punch to it. It's more light and fluffy. I don't like it. I think that's a major weakness for rice dishes. But wow, what a start. I'll see you guys in the next spot. In Vietnam, we have a scam closed one. This is a real closed one. Oh well, on to the next stop. We are now at Fu Yuan Ji, right next to Qilo Jie, which is the main street of Haikou. And I got half a chicken. I mean, I'm here already, right? And one thing I've noticed again is that it's significantly oily, you know? It almost looks like it's deep fried or confit. But then, like I said just now, there are random deposits of fat in the meat. Maybe the coconut thing is real. And then I didn't think that I would miss this so much, but it's nice to finally have this yu fan, this color that I recognize. They also have a sauce, but this time only one. But I can't wait anymore, so let's get it. So far in the series, I have been saying things like 70-80% chicken, 20-30% sauce. I think I don't agree. Maybe it's supposed to be 100% chicken. We're only halfway through the video, so I don't want to conclude too fast. But this chicken flavor must be amongst the best in the series. Not just how chickeny the flavor is, but this richness, this fattiness. It's like the chicken has marbling. The meat is tough, as you all probably could tell, but every bite is just gushing more and more chicken fat. I don't remember seeing all this fat in the earlier chicken. Maybe the coconut is really doing something. So in terms of the meatiness of the chicken and the fattiness of the chicken, both score very high marks. And it just so happens that this is cooked very well. The seasoning is on point, thorough and just harsh enough. It goes really well with the abundant fat. The dipping sauce does well to switch it up, but the chicken flavor is more than good enough to stand on its own. I ate 95% of the chicken by itself. However, the misses. The rice is good enough to be a bad chicken rice in Singapore. It is very oily and bland. And normally oily might be a good thing because you have more flavor in the rice. It's yu fan after all. But paired with such a fatty chicken like I said, it's too much. This rice might be better if paired with another chicken, but definitely not this chicken. I mean, if I swirl the plate around, you can see there is a puddle of fat, which leads me to think this chicken might be confit. I am struggling to imagine that a boiled chicken can render so much fat. And even if it does, it should be washed away during the boiling process. And it has to be a low temperature cook as well. If not, the skin will blister. And more importantly, the bird won't cook through. But if this is boiled, I am stumped. Anyway, going back to the rice, it's oily, it's not fragrant enough, it's clumpy, the grains are broken, and it's under-seasoned. There is barely any saltiness, which for this kind of yu fan, you know, a little salt goes a long way. I'm so conflicted because like, this is a phenomenal chicken, but in the first 2 minutes of this series, I said something like, rice is the heartbeat of the dish. This chicken is dominating this meal right now. Walking around here, everybody advertises their chicken as Wenchang Ji, but we are in Haikou. Wenchang is actually like 180 kilometers away or something. An hour plus drive. They get the chicken from their farms there, like this place does, and then sell it here in the city. So, let's go to Wenchang. We are now at Wenchang, home to both the ancestors of the Hainan chicken rice and Lee Kuan Yew. And I got a bit of breast meat, a bit of drumstick, and their yu fan, which comes with yam. And if you all can see it, shreds of coconut, and also coriander garlic oil dip. Oh, we're finally here, Let's get it. The world is very big yet small today. You can find another cuisine's dish thousands of kilometers away, but do you think the best version is still where it came from? Or has it moved on already? Great chicken. If we can establish something, is that Wenchang has better chicken. I'm gonna repeat myself, but great flavor, great oiliness or fattiness. I'm seriously suspecting if they boiled the chicken. It cannot be. Everything is just glistening with fat. But the most important thing is that everybody says that Wenchang chicken 会有点咬劲. I understand that, but that shouldn't be an excuse. There's a line between 咬劲 and freak it in rubber. It's like that one. Here they do it just nice. You want evidence? The juices are gushing. But 咬劲, I expect a little bit of a tug on the meat, but you can still chew through. Not for you to bite it forever. Again, the chicken goes very well with the sauces. I added this pao jiao this time. Really nice spiciness, funkiness, a little bit of acidity. I have to say, one of the purest chicken flavor so far in the series. I feel a bit bad for Goang Pratunam because it seems here they boil it similarly, leaving it pure, but the biggest of chicken diff. At the same time, I can see why people say Singapore better. This is very biased, this is subjective, but whenever my brain tastes coconut with rice, I cannot not think of nasi lemak. To top that off, there's yam, which is nice, but again, I cannot not think of duck rice. So while the rice objectively goes very well with the chicken, it's fragrant in just the right way, it complements the chicken very well. Personally, I feel very thrown off by all these familiar flavors. Delicious. Let's move on to the last chicken rice of the journey. We are here now, boys. We are in the rural area of Wenchang, at this place where they rear their chickens in the back and they sell in the front. It's crazy because we're just a little off the Long Lo space launch site. It's hard to think that, like I said, 150 years ago, people were sailing south from here to find a better life. But now, from the same coastline, they are now going to Mars. What a time we live in. Anyway, Wenchang Ji, the oiliness and the smell definitely stands out. And the owner also did a supposedly traditional dip for me. We have seen something like this before. At the same time, he also said, good chicken don't need dip. 吃原味就好. Let's check the claims. It's moist as hell. Since for as long as I can remember, I have been told chicken rice is not popular in Hainan. It's not a thing there. They call it Wenchang Ji, and it's terrible. The chicken is dry and very bland. They need to use the condiments to improve the flavor. The chicken itself no taste one. Man, shut the hell up, man. I know I have been raving about the chicken all video. This is my favorite one of the four. It is hard to describe how chickeny a chicken is. Between how clean the flavor is without the stench and how chickeny it is, like it's so vague, I cannot describe the satisfaction of a chicken being very chickeny. Which, fine, we have had several chickens that are very chickeny throughout the series. This is both very oily, like you can see my fingers, my lips, or the shine on the chicken. I seriously doubt, how can this be boiled? It tastes like it's boiled, but like, how can so much fat be left? But we have addressed the fattiness, sorry. The thing that is stand out is the juiciness. Dripping. The chicken is again 有咬劲. And it's quite interesting because the toughness actually comes from biting it off the bone. After that, it actually chews quite easily. But the juiciness, gushing. What dry? What tasteless? Who is saying such stuff? Who is going to one tourist spot? Wait, I'm at a tourist spot. Where are these people going? Use 大众点评. 大众点评 is good. If you talk about pure chicken flavor, pure chicken umami, no sauce, no seasoning, this is top 2, maybe. And the biggest but, how good this chicken is juxtaposed by the rice. Mushy, rice grain breaking down, starch already sipping. It is the Malacca chicken rice boil in a bowl. And personally, I hate the chicken rice ball texture. I think it's very tardy. It goes against what I like in rice, having that texture of the grain. Even in something like sushi that is very sticky and clumpy, sushi chefs make it a point to not squeeze the rice too hard so that it breaks apart nicely in your mouth. This kind of rice is something that I don't like. The flavor is okay, but I cannot get used to the texture. I feel like somewhere along the way of being efficient, mass producing stuff, such original flavors of ingredients are forgotten. And it might be the case that the broiler chicken is the more popular bird, being easier to eat, less offensive. But this, if I were to describe it, is the most kampong of kampong chickens. Alright, let's wrap it up here. It's cafe o'clock. We are now at前门铺里, by the shore that I was mentioning earlier. And I got myself a big拿铁. Anyway, recap. To be honest, I'm kinda lost. It's quite hard to frame everything coherently when there are such different takes on it. And the biggest difference, the first commandment of good chicken rice, eat the rice enough already. This really sets a divide down the middle. I feel like earlier in the journey with Singapore, Malaysia and Thailand, this was more often the case. But going into Hoi An, Da Nang, Hong Kong, and now Hainan, Wenchang, a lot of the rice are an afterthought. They cannot stand on their own. This, I think, is the most jarring difference amongst all the chicken rice. And while I have said many times in this video that there are a lot of merits, my idea of a good chicken rice is that the rice is the heartbeat. The second commandment is that if you want to tell if a chicken is good, you have to try their breast. And that is held true, especially today, where the breast, while tougher, is still so juicy and the flavor is so present despite being white meat. Something that is unthinkable for broiler chicken. However, like what I said in the Vietnam episode, tough meat is still tough meat. Well, it has a very good plus, the increased flavor, something that is very cherished in chicken. The almost equally big minus is that if a chicken rice don't have that smooth, silky texture, from the perspective of a dish, it suffers. Even though if you take the perspective of just the chicken, you can argue it's a trade-off. And then the third, not commandment, but dilemma, something I have not resolved or decided, is that I said something like 70-80% chicken, 20-30% sauce. But now when you have such good chicken, is that really true? When you have such good chicken, perhaps it might still be true and it makes it even better. Cause in Wenchang chicken, chicken fat is the sauce. There is so much chicken fat. I still don't know if anybody of you know, if anybody of you who have Wenchang relatives, how do they cook the chicken? Boiled chicken cannot be this fat. So not only do I not know how to rate, I feel like my own perspective of what I like in the chicken rice is shifting. But to zero in on what we had today, the first place was very interesting. The only place in the series so far with different qualities of chicken. And the first and only time I've experienced Yanji, castrated chicken. That pristine flavor is very impressive. In most chickens, even the cleaner ones, there is still a streak of stench that is natural in a chicken flavor. But to have that stripped away for it to be so clean, right? Very sick. And yet the rice is nasi ayam lemak biryani. The second place, a lot of chicken fat. That is maybe the fattiest chicken today. All those deposits of fat, yellow in color in case you cannot see them. That one I believe they eat coconut. The third one, we came over to Wenchang and the handling is cleaner, purer. Everything is more old school, served with a coconut yam rice, the first I have ever had. And then the fourth one, probably the chicken that is the most chickeny one today. I really feel like I'm transported back in the day where if you had to make dinner at night, they pull the chicken from the coop in the afternoon. You know, like that one cooking scene in the Chinese movie. It really feels like that. So, to rate. 1 plate I'll walk for the chicken rice, 2 plates I'll take a bus for the chicken rice, and 3 plates I'll go anywhere in the city for the chicken rice. And the chicken rice today get 2222. I'm sorry, I cannot split them. I cannot. None of them are a tier above nor a tier below. At the same time, none of them are 3 plates because while the chicken is very good, I cannot let go that the rice is more important in chicken rice. And I hope y'all can tell we are way into the subjective territory already. It is so hard to objectify chicken rice across all these countries. But if I were to rank them according to preference, from the first to the fourth place, it would be 1, 4, 2, 3. And even that is like so close. What did stand out to me was that the first place had different chicken and different sauces. Their chicken was the most fun to eat. All that with the quality of the chicken underlying everything. And that brings us to the end of the overseas arc. But we are not done yet, far from done actually. Yes, we have been to JB, to KL, to Bangkok, to Hoi An, to Hong Kong, to Hainan. Every city that has fallen in love with this dish, we have been there. Which leaves us with only one place left to go. To return to the capital of the chicken rice, the place with the best chicken rice in the world, the last boss, and also the place I call home. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I'll see you guys in the next video.